Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Sage on Haven. Today is day 26 of playing every agent on every map. For today's agent I asked in the stream, by the way, come check me out on Twitch, which agent I should play, and I said Sage. I myself used to be a Sage enjoyer, but I'm not quite as much anymore. I really dislike Sage because there's just way better Sentinels in the game, and I prefer to play the other Sentinels over a Sage. In combination with other Sentinels, Sage is though one of the better Sentinels because she has a really good stopping power, and especially on a 3-map site like Haven, she could be really good if used with another Sentinel. By the way, I set myself the goal of getting 500 subs by the end of the year. I'm right now around 300, so you guys gotta help me out to reach those 500 subs in the last 3 days of the year. It helps me out a lot, and I will be able to keep making more videos like that. By the way, this is my shop today, so pretty hot ass. I don't like any of these skins at all, holy shit. Starting off with A-side defense. A-side has a really defender-sided orb right here. With a Sage, it's important to get your ult as many times as possible. You can start the round off by throwing a slow orb right here, and if they're not peeking out right away, you can take the orb and then slowly go back towards B or C, wherever they are going. You can also wall up on short with a wall like this, but you gotta crouch, else the wall breaks because of these lamps right here. You can then either hold from on top of here. This is really good if you do it with a shotgun. This is really good if you do it with a shotgun. You can then just shoot if somebody tries to break the wall. Or also you can play here and then jump, shoot. Or you can use your Vandal up here and then try to kill the people that are trying to shoot the wall. You have a couple of other options too. You can also wall right here if they're coming A, and then hide in this corner right here, let them walk out. You might be expected sometimes. You can also stand on top of this wall, by the way, when you wall, so you can peek people from here. If you don't have the orb and they're trying to take the orb, this is really good. You can then just peek out and get a kill on them. Or you can even jump up here and focus on the people in short. By the way, if you have a teammate in short, you can also then just hold long from up here, which is a really good spot. Other options to wall on A is a wall like this one. You have the option to then go up here, or go up here and peek to people in short like this. Or you can even hide behind here and wait for the people to on long to walk out. They're most likely not going to see you, and you can just get free kills. In general, also just slower long if they're coming out long. It delays them for quite a lot of time, and it's really good. You can do the same thing also on short if you don't have a wall on short. Just wall slow here, or even slow up here. This is really good because it's going to be a really long time for them to come up here, and your team has enough time to rotate in towards site. By the way, there's another wall you can do that is in Heaven. I remember from my Sage main days, when you wall, you're going to move over to the side, and then you can go up here all the way in this corner and even hide behind this stuff right here. You're going to be pretty hard to spot, and you have a great angle on long. The same thing, by the way, also works for the other side. If you're over here, you can just hide here and hold short. It's more expected if you play on this side though, because they can see your wall before they can see you, and they're most likely gonna look up. This wall is also not that good if you have a teammate in Heaven trying to hold, because you're basically just cutting them off with your wall. And you also can't forget that you're taking fall damage when falling down, which is quite a substantial amount from that height. So if you do it, I'd recommend you do it over here, so you only fall down here. You're still gonna take about the same amount of fall damage, just a little more, less, but it is still a pretty good spot and a pretty good off angle to get the entry kill. Other things you can do is to play backside with a wall like this one. It's really unexpected, especially if you peek long or short. If they see your wall or if they hear you walling, it's gonna be not as good, but it's still a pretty good wall. And one last option is that you go into window in the beginning of the round, jump over here, and then as soon as the round starts, you have a wall ready like this one. And as soon as they are coming out short or long, or if you hear them coming A, you can do something like this, jump over and get on top of the wall. Like this, you have a great off angle on the people coming short. And if there are people coming long, you also have a great off angle up here, or even dropping down. You're safe from short, and you can hold them from here, which is pretty good. You can also drop down on the other side to shield yourself from the people on long, get the kills on short, and then focus on the people long or the people planting default right here. For B, you have a couple of good options. Firstly, you can use a slow orb like this one, and then spray through this wall right here, doing damage to anyone that is trying to come out of window, and they're going to be slowed, so they won't be able to get away that quickly. This is really effective if you're using a Soba Dart right here or a Fade Reveal. Or you can also just wall like this. This is the classic wall. It isn't the greatest wall, but it allows you to go up here and have a great off angle on the people main, and also to jump over and have a great off angle on the people window and main too. You also have another option to wall. If you wall like this right here in the backside, you can see window and the people coming out of window really easily. This is a really good spot because it's really unexpected, and you can use that at least once or twice in your games if they are coming out window and you're gonna have a free kill on them. By the way, if this wall starts to break and you kind of don't want to get down, you can also then just jump over on top of the gong or whatever you want to call this, and have pretty much the same angle. You can also hold the people from grass right here. If the enemy team is entering on B, you can just use a slower right here. It blocks off most of them and they're gonna be slowed really far. Even with a chat dash or neon dash since the last Sage nerfs, this is really good. For garage, you also have a couple of options. You can use a wall like this one right here, and even like check here, you can see people without them being able to see you. They might try to spray you down though, so you gotta be careful to not stand on this or this wall panel. And you can get some free kills off of that by just then peeking out or shooting them. This is also really effective on eco rounds with a shotgun. You can then just jump up and pump them. If they're trying to break your wall right here, you can also just jump here and do a lot of damage to them. There's another really good wall you can do in garage. It's also kind of hard to do, but if you place it and then move forward to the side, you can play up here. It's gonna block off all of window, and you can get a good off angle on the people trying to come in here. It's mostly not expected, and you can also play that on the other side. You can't really play it in the middle because of the lights here. On the other side, it might be even better because here you have a great off angle. You can't really be seen by the enemies, and they won't be able to, or they won't think you're gonna be up here because it's a really unexpected spot and it kind of looks like you're almost in the roof here. Switching over towards C. On C, you can do something like this one, where you just wall and then play on top of it. And if they're not coming C or if they're coming garage, you can then either hold garage from up here, which is an insanely unexpected angle. You just kind of have to have a smoke right here, because then the enemies from long that are walking up trying to break your wall can't see you. Or you can also just jump up and you have a even better angle on the people in garage or on the people trying to break your wall. Another wall you can do, if you know they're all coming long and you have a smoke on long, you can use a wall like this one right here, where you just wall up and then you have an insane off angle on the people coming out here. They're not gonna expect you up here, and it's just a really good spot, especially if there's a smoke right here. Maybe the chat dashes out, but like the people coming in after are gonna have a hard time spotting you, and even if they do, you can just kill one and slowly go back, kill one more from back here, and then even drop down here and you're pretty safe, and you can just hold backside for your team, so your team can flood in from CT, and you can hold even from here, so the enemies have a hard time trying to get you out of this spot. Another wall you can use, this wall is really good in the beginning of the round, is a wall like this one, where you play up here, maybe go for a kill or two, and even if you drop down, you can then just go over back here, jump up here, and you're back on top of the wall, and it is good for some really unexpected off angles. Especially if you have a couple of teammates with you, they can jump up again on top of your wall, and you can even do like a double hold, one standing here, one standing up here. You're gonna hold through the legs of the guy on top, and you can then just double hold long. Another wall you can do is this wall right here. You take your wall out, you set it to straight, and then you jump up and place it at the highest point below you, and so you're basically on top of the. You have a really good off angle on the people down here, because there's usually a smoke right here, and they're not gonna expect you to peek over the smoke, and you get free kills like that. You can just shoot them like this, or even with a guardian or an op, they're not gonna expect it, and you can get some free kills. Switching over towards attack. On attack, you can do a pretty crazy wall in the beginning of the round. You probably have already seen that one when you watched the Grim video. It is right here. You go in this corner, and as soon as you're falling down, you wall. Like that, the wall extends out, and it extends all the way over to the window, so you can hold the people that are pushing short or even close here while they are pushing up. They're most likely not gonna expect you up here, because it's a really unexpected off angle. This also works, by the way, if you have a chat on your team. You used to be able to double updraft here, It's still possible with one updraft, but if you wall your Sage up here and then she updrafts, she has a pretty good view on the people on long and she can get a kill pretty easily. She can also then check out people in heaven, they're holding from heaven, and get a free kill of the people there as well. Other things you can do on A is to throw a slow orb down here so the people on short can't really push you right away. You can line yourself up in this corner and then aim about at the middle peak of this these 3 peaks. Aim a little higher than it and then just throw a slow orb. The slow orb is gonna land long right here, so the people that are holding on long have a hard time getting out because they're gonna be so slowed. And it's really good to combine with, for example, a sky flash or a stun or just whatever ability you can use to clear out long. It's really good because the people here are gonna be slowed and they're not gonna be able to react that quickly or get out really quickly. If you're going long, you can use a wall like this one right here to get on top of these boxes and then just hold backside. The people on backside are not going to expect you up here, and it's a really good off angle. This is especially good if your enemy's team throws a smoke right here. You can peek over the smoke from backside and you have a pretty good angle. You can also just use that wall to get over here, get the information on the people on backside by just jumping here. Make sure you're safe from under and heaven. You could just generally annoy the people that are on site. Once you have gotten site, you can then decide to either wall CT, play on top of the wall, even go over here, play in this corner, or even go up here and focus on the people that are coming into CT. It's a really unexpected angle, but the people in CT can see your legs first, so it's also a pretty bad spot sometimes, especially if the people you're playing against are better players. They will be able to see your legs and then they can just shoot you through this thing right here. The other option you have is to wall off heaven, like this. There's also a third option, which is if you go in this corner and the same as on long A, as soon as you fall down, you place a wall, you can peek the people in heaven and you have a really unexpected angle on them. This also works great if you, for example, have a shotgun. You can peek pretty far in, kill them with a shotgun. I'm not sure, I think there might be a better wall here, but I don't know it because I've seen Grim go up here or use a wall on top of here to get up into heaven too. Another wall you can use if you don't just want to wall CT and heaven is a wall like this one, which basically is the same wall as in CT, but you can hide here on top of it, focus on the people backside or coming out of CT. You can also hide in this corner right here. You're gonna be hard to spot from the people from CT, and if they're coming out, you have a free kill on them, and then you can drop down. And you can even play behind the wall right here and wait for the people to come out. I recommend to either hold a deep angle like this one right here, so as soon as somebody comes out, you get a kill and then you can untuck. Or to hide all the way in the corner, so you're harder to spot and they're most likely not going to clear out this corner and you get free kills on the people coming out of sight. Just tell your team that you're letting them through here, so they don't blame you for throwing the game if they are coming out here and then killing your team. Switching over towards B. On B, it's a pretty good thing to always throw a slow orb here in the beginning of the round. People like to push here really quickly, and with a slow orb like this, it makes that almost impossible. You can then go out of window and go towards site. I see a lot of Sage player do a wall like this one. This wall isn't bad, especially if you're standing on top of it, because people most of the times don't expect it, but it also isn't great. If you do a wall like this, or a wall on the other side like this, you have one side of the site for free to get the plant in. I see that, but I would only recommend that on a eco, because you're also giving the enemies this space right here and all of backside, and it's going to be really hard for your team to take the rest of side through elbow right here. If you decide to then go back mid, just get the plant and then play for a spam, this wall is fine, but else I wouldn't recommend to use that wall. Better walls on B are something like this one, where you wall like this, and you then have the option to go up and hold the people from link right here as soon as the smoke fades. This is a really unexpected angle. You can also play that angle from down here. It's only works for this spot right here though. Or you can also do a sneaky play and drop down here in this cubby. People most of the times don't expect it, and sometimes you get free kills off of that because the enemies are trying to destroy the wall either back here in this compartment, and you can't be seen right here. Or they're gonna break the wall right in front of you, which is this one. And you then have a great off angle on the people coming out CT, and you can then just spray them through the gap. It is pretty likely that after you get one kill, you're gonna get traded and you're pretty much dead. But this is really good, especially on eco runs, because the enemies won't expect it. The other wall you can use is a wall like this one, where you also wall here. This wall is really good because you can also hold it from these boxes right here. If somebody tries to jump up here, or you hear something, you can go back up yourself. And you can also just hold the people in CT. It's a pretty weird angle for you yourself. If they are peeking out back here, you're not going to see their head. But like this, you can get a kill, drop down, make the enemies think, yeah, you dropped off the wall, and then jump back up again to have a great off angle on the enemies. For slows, I recommend you just use a slow right here or a slow right here. Whichever side you don't really want the enemies to come out. If you know there's a lot of people on A, throw a slower right here. If you know there's a lot of people on C and garage, throw one right here. If you know there's somebody stuck backside, you can also just throw a slower like this one. It lands back here and slows out all of the spots backside, and the person in backside is going to be stuck there. You can then combo that with a raise nade or just whatever molly your team has to get them out, and they're going to be stuck in there, most likely a free kill for your team. If you're deciding to take garage, you can use a wall like this one right here to get the people out of the most annoying spots on garage. Just wall up here, and then you can hold the angle right here and hold people close, because they're most likely not going to expect you right here. This is really good, especially if you have like an Odin or something, because you can spray through this, do a lot of damage to them. You can also just spray through here. As soon as you see somebody, you can spray them. This off angle is most likely not going to be checked, and you're going to get at least 1 or 2 kills a game, and you can use that a couple of times in the game. Before they catch on, you're like right up here. It's also just really hard for the enemy team to see, because you're getting protected by this. By the way, the same thing with the slower right here in the beginning of the round also counts if you're coming from grass. The people are not going to be able to push out, and you have a easier time to get towards garage. Once you're in garage, you can decide to either wall off and play on top of the wall, or just throw a slower right here. With a slower, it is impossible for the enemies to jump up, because the slow hinders like the jump. So they are most likely not going to be able to peek out behind of you. So if you throw a slower or 2 in here, the enemy team is going to struggle to get up. You also kind of slow your teammates though. So if they are trying to go into window and you throw a slower right here, you're kind of griefing your teammates, so they won't be able to get in. If your team decides to go C and they smoke C main, you can use a wall like this one. Peek the people on backside over the smoke, or people on plateau especially, because those people are going to be higher up and you're going to have a easy time killing them because they won't expect you. Especially if they smoke close here, this wall is pretty effective because you can look over the wall and get some kills off of it. Once you're on C, there's a couple of different walls. A wall like this one is really annoying for the enemies because they at least have to break 1 or 2 compartments of the wall to get through. And even if they break that one, the compartment right here for example, it's going to be a hard peak for them, and they're going to struggle to get out onto site. And you yourself can hide back here, hold this right here. As soon as the enemies walk out, you get 3 kills. You can then also just use a slower for the enemies to like kind of slow them too. So it's going to be pretty hard for them to go out of garage. Another wall you can use is a wall like this one. You give them the space to go out here, but you yourself can then play here. You just need a smoke in CT, and you can hold the people jumping out, especially if they are if there's a smoke right here and you're smoked, you walled, and then the smoke fades. They're not going to expect you up here, and you can get some free kills. You can also then jump up here. You just need a teammate holding CT, so they can't really come out CT. You can also use the same wall I showed you on defense on attack by just jumping up here and walling up. You have a great off angle on the people coming out CT, and they're not going to expect you here. Other options for a good aggressive wall is a wall like this one, where you can hold the people in CT coming out. They're not going to expect you up here, and you can even jump up. The jump up is the riskier part though, so I recommend you stay back here. You can also just hide from them, and as soon as they're coming out, laser them by just shooting at them. The other option is to just straight up wall off CT. If you do it like this, you can, and you have a smoke right here, you can then just jump up here, and it's a really unexpected off angle for the people coming out of CT, and you can see the people if there's smoke right here. You can see the people behind the smoke really easily too. To end off the video, I have one more trick for you guys. This works best on C side, but also on B or on any other side in the game, and is also used by some pros. If they plant it here or just anywhere here in the close vicinity, and they are all on long, you can use a wall like this one to diffuse fairly safe behind it. Because it's going to be hard for them to break all these 4 compartments of the wall in a really quick fashion. And you can get 3 diffuses off of that and win some rounds. For Sage and Haven, I have 2 different ratings. One where Sage is the only Sentinel on the team, which is a F tier, actually. Because Sage doesn't have any passive map info. The map is a 3-side map and you're kind of struggling without map info. But with another Sentinel, for example a Killjoy, a Cypher, or even a Vise or Deadlock, a Sage can go up all the way to the S tier because she has really good walls on this map. Her slows stop a lot of the pushes and she's just a really good side anchor. And her heal and her rest make her a valuable second Sentinel for the team. That would be it from me. If you have any other questions or suggestions which agents I should play next, write them down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And also don't forget to come visit me on Twitch where I stream almost daily. I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day and see you guys very soon. Bye bye!